Hey everyone, this is Josh Hayward and welcome to the Week 3 recap of 31 Days of Pumpkin. That's right, Week 3 is in the books and it was a great one. We had quite a few good brews this past week and actually showcased Southern Tier mainly throughout the week, 4 out of the 7 days, taking a look at a variety of their brews. But yeah, it was a good week. I had a variety of different kind of brews. Great seeing some of the creativity from some of these breweries, and it was a great week of 31 Days of Pumpkin. We kicked the week off with Shipyard Brewing Company's Smash Pumpkin, the signature series. This is kind of like their Imperial Ale. I was not a fan of this beer by any means. I actually thought, was kind of expecting a little bit more of a malty backbone in this beer, a little more malty flavor in this beer as opposed to their staple PumpKYn. However, this was just way more alcohol forward. There was also a sharp acidic taste, kind of mid taste in that beer, which I was not a fan of. I'm not sure what's going on in the Shipyard brews. It must have something to do with these other natural flavors that they're adding to the beer. Was not a fan of that one, and I'm not sorry for saying it. In regards to this beer and PumpKYn, give me PumpKYn any day. And if you'll remember, I wasn't a huge fan of that one either, but I'll drink PumpKYn over this one. This one, the sips that I took in the review, that was all I could do with that beer. Next, we had the very famous Imperial Pumking by Southern Tier Brewing Company. Got the pumpkin there. If you know anything about Southern Tier or anything about pumpkin brews, you've probably heard of Pumking. This is a staple, one of the go-tos. Year after year after year, solid pumpkin beer, good fall spice, slight sweetness, surprisingly heavier for a pumpkin beer though, 8.6, so it's still kind of in the imperial range, but good brew nonetheless. Next we had the Warlock, which is the Imperial Stout, ale brewed with pumpkin and pumpkin pie spice. I absolutely loved this beer. It takes everything that you could love about a stout, the dark beers that we love, and combines it with pumpkin and pumpkin spices. Just kind of the best of both worlds. A great combination of two different kinds of styles. Very, very good beer. Loved this one. Next we had the cold pressed coffee PumpKYn. So basically they took PumpKYn and then added cold pressed coffee, and it added a very interesting flavor to the beer. I thought it complemented it well. I actually enjoyed the beer. Thought it was interesting. You wouldn't think, coffee going with a pumpkin ale, but it seemed to go really well together. And it wasn't like a pumpkin spice latte by any means. It was a nice coffee element to the beloved PumpKYn. Next, we had the PumpKYn Rum Barrel Aged. This is PumpKYn again, but aged in rum barrels. And this was a little bit different in that we've had a variety of different kind of barrel-aged beers thus far in 31 Days of Pumpkin, but I feel like Southern Tier really did a good job with this one in that they used the rum barrel aging process to complement the taste of PumpKYn. Some of these other barrel-aged beers, it's just way over the top with the alcohol, or way over the top with the bourbon or the rum, or whatever the type of barrel they're using. I feel like Southern Tier used that to complement PumpKYn, to complement the pumpkin beer. The rum was there, it was subtle, it was a nice add to the PumpKYn. So solid there. Next we had my personal favorite brew of the week, Rogue Farms. This is the Pumpkin Patch Ale. It wins award for best bottle, and quite possibly, arguably, best pumpkin beer thus far. It's right up there in my top several. Just amazing beer, very, very fresh. This was one that I feel like I could definitely taste the pumpkin in. It wasn't just chock full of spices. The spices were a nice complement. Very, very fresh beer. I just remember so vividly tasting the pumpkin in this. Think flavors of sweet potato, yams, butternut squash, those types of things. The roasted pumpkin really showed forth in this. Very, very fresh, and I know Rogue takes pride in that. Last, we closed out the week with Avery Brewing Company's PumpKYn. That's K-Y-N, and this is a pumpkin ale aged in bourbon barrels out of Kentucky, hence the KY. Interesting brew here. This brew, I feel like you have to set aside from all the other ones. It's kind of in its own playing field. This thing was bottled almost 2 years ago, and has been aging that long. Let's see, 15.0% ABV. I remember the $11.50 price point on this. Just a very, very rich beer. Not something you would kick back at a get-together or a party. Something you would have to sip on and enjoy. If you don't like lots and lots of flavors and lots going on in your beer, you're not going to like this one. However, for some of those who may enjoy Belgian quads or Trappist beers, you may find this one pretty good. It reminded me of that with the complexity of the flavors and whatnot. So not a bad beer here, but definitely not something you could enjoy consistently. So week 3 was excellent. Had lots of great brews, showcasing lots of great innovation. You know, even though we had 4 Southern tiers, each one of them was very different in their own way. The staple, the Warlock, which was incredible, the cold pressed, and then the rum barrel. And I love this beer, just absolutely incredible. And then this one, just so unique. But great week. Week 3 is in the books. Thank you so much for following along. It's been a blast. You guys have a good one. Cheers.